Greetings and welcome to the Santa Ysabel Mission. This church here in San Diego County was put together by Spanish missionaries in 1818. So this is just really a few decades after the American Revolution out here on the West Coast, as missionaries were bringing basically Middle Eastern and European culture here to the North American continent. They brought literacy, they brought metal smelting, they brought agriculture, all of those things in one package, literacy, all of that. And it's just a fascinating place. There's a beautiful graveyard here for the Santa Ysabel tribe of Native Americans. And we're looking at Titus Chapter 2. And you might think, what does Titus Chapter 2 have to do with a place like this? Well, in many ways, this is a memorial to people who are no longer here. And the letter to Titus, Paul's letter to Titus, is like that. Paul and Titus are gone, but this letter remains, much like the people that built this mission are long, long gone, but this place remains. And Paul's letter to Titus was a letter to a man who was a partner in ministry with Paul. And he's encouraging him. And in chapter 2, he talks to the male elders and the female elders, the young women and the young men. And it's real interesting how sometimes kind of sexist English is, because Paul was talking about male elders and female elders, people running the church, but they turned it around, bringing it into English in a lot of our translations as older men, older women, because elder, older. So that's the way they got twisted around, but really there were men and women in leadership. Paul was working with Priscilla and Aquila, not Aquila and Priscilla. So remember that, and he put Lydia in charge of the church in Philippi. Now, Philippi was one of the largest cities in the Roman Empire, as was Corinth, as was Thessalonica, as was Ephesus. These were major cities in the first century. Rome, of course, was the biggest city in the world, but Paul was hitting the second-tier cities, and these were major centers of culture, of learning, of trade, of business. And Paul was definitely working his trade route because he was a tent maker, and his biggest customer, of course, was the Roman army, which was the people who bought tents back then. And so what we have in the letter to Titus is much like this mission here. The words remain, the people who wrote them and the person who received it are gone, but the wisdom that Paul sends to the male elders, female elders, and young adults is just as fitting as it was back then. And who did he write the most to? The female elders, because they had a special job of bringing up the younger women. And it's so important, if you're an older person, that you connect with some younger people and help mentor them, help bring them up in the faith, help teach them leadership, get them involved in leadership in your church. So many churches are aging, and we're not bringing enough young people into leadership. And I think it's so important that we do that. But I just have to say goodbye now from this beautiful, beautiful mission from 1818 Santa Ysabel Mission here in California. I'll also tell you some trivia. A long, long time ago, the bells for Santa Ysabel Mission were stolen, and people are still looking for them. So if you ever run into some mission bells somewhere that you find in a garage or whatever, let the folks here at Santa Ysabel know, because they are still looking for their mission bells from way back in the beginning of the 20th century. That's the good news for today, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow.